Oh, this heater is kind of hot. Y'all don't even understand. I'm waiting for y'all to get in. It's still like 1 more minute before 8 o'clock. So I'm trying to wait for y'all to get in. I'm in another spot. Y'all know where I'm at. Y'all know where I'm at. But yeah. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's crazy how... Hello, Wendy. I miss this. Like, totally miss this. I don't know where I was, what rock I was underneath, or whatever. But we're going to talk about this. We're going to definitely talk about something that has got my mind like, are you freaking kidding me? It's new to me. Me and my younger brother talk about a lot of stuff and share a lot of stuff. And, we politic and converse about a lot of different things that is going on in the world and what is transitioning in the world today with the evil and the things that have to make a switch. They just have to make a switch because that's how God created it. The first shall be last, the last shall be first, and the head should be the tail and all that other good stuff. Now, when I tell you I'm not a religious person, I do believe that the word that is put out as the Bible is a book that derives from an original story of people from a long, long, long time ago. Has it been manipulated? Yes, it has. Has a lot of things been transformed and changed in different things in different ways? It has. To the point where I've even seen, and some may want to hear, may not want to hear, but I'm always going to talk about, for now on, what I'm going to start doing is talk about something that's like the topic, either for me that I've just found out, or the topic that's going on right now in the world, or with something going on in the world. Um, I seen a Bible, guys. And in the Bible, do you know how it says about like a preacher with the wife, what the name of the wife would be to a preacher in the church, and the name, basically their name. It now has, and you guys can look this up right now, I'm not lying to you. There is a Bible for homosexuals. Now, I love everyone. Your choice of life has nothing to do with me. But it changes the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Not only does it change that, but it also changes, it says the first husband. That's what it says. Instead of the first lady, it says the first husband. It changes that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And you guys can go find that and see that for yourself. So not bashing nobody, not talking about anything like that. Just want to throw that out there because I seen somebody left as soon as I said that. But anywho, but I'm not going to bite my tongue for anybody, because what I believe is what I believe. That doesn't mean I'm going to bash you, or that doesn't mean I'm going to think any different of you. It's just I don't believe what you believe. You get what I'm saying? Some people don't believe in eating pork. Some people do. Some people don't believe in eating anything from an animal. Some people do. So it's all the same to me. You know what I mean? You choose what you choose, and don't put that upon me, and I won't do the same to you, basically. So did anybody hear the story about Bill Gates funding the experiment to block the sun this year? Like, I guess it's been out for a little over a month. The actual story of it been out for a little over a month, but in the next couple of months, they did like a prototype to send over thousands of balloons up into the sky and to literally block the sun. The thing is to... Me and my brother was talking about it, and it's so crazy because they saying it's killing off of a lot of fair skinned, light skinned people. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And that to block it would help them live longer. And in so many ways, I try to remember to remind me to put the link below, because let me see if I can pull this up, guys, so you guys can hear this. Now, this is for people who care to listen, because things are going on around you and you have no clue. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I literally, until my brother shared this with me, I had no clue. I didn't even know that this was something that Bill Gates was funded. The same man that actually funded the biggest vaccine movement in Africa, to give all them kids vaccines, to basically sterilize them and do them in. You already know. So Let me see. See. So that's going to be the first topic of the beginning. But let me see if I can start this.
Y'all, these devils that are ruling are just up to no good. This is the latest. Bill Gates, Harvard, to begin blocking the sun in spring
Spring
of
of 2000,
2019. Now we know that
2019.
this is Bible prophecy. We know in the scriptures in the book of Joel, it talks about the sun being
Could you
darkened,
guys
the
hear
moon
this?
turning to blood, and all this stuff happening in the last days. Well, check it out. This is what these devils are up to. And
You
when I
are
say
a
devils, I'm
you
talking.
are a devil if you're going against the creation of God and trying to be God. It brings me in the frame of mind of there was a story. I mean, there is a story in the Bible with the Tower of Babel and how they were so meticulous about the way that they tried to build this tower and tried to reach the heavens and all this crap. I mean, I'm saying crap because I'm not going to go into detail, but you just don't play with God. You don't play with God. And whatever way or shape or form that you feel that you're going to try to be God or perform um the miracles of God or whatever it is, I'm trying not to say things a certain way, but long story short is you are not God. I don't care how much money you have or how big your money makes you feel. Them people and all these religions and I mean all of these not religions, all of these nationalities and all of these languages came about because of that. That's why it was called Babel, because that's what it sounded like when they tried to communicate to continue building after it was knocked down. It couldn't be done. How can I communicate with you if I speak Greek and you speak Spanish and we don't know each other's language? We can't do too much of nothing. We have to know each other's language in order to move forward. So long story short, think about the fact that this person is trying to block the sun. For those of you who don't care, you live on this earth and you can listen or not listen, but at the end of the day, here's the thing. Farms, animals, melanated people, solar people who have solar power, and a lot of times it's people who have more money live off of the solar power where they have all the solar panels on their houses and stuff. All of that stuff needs the sun. We need the sun. Animals need the sun. All of the things that we eat as far as vegetables and stuff that God created for us to come up out of the ground, all of that is used, all of that uses the sun to grow and to feed us. So for you to say that you are taking 3 million and 3 million is just for you to test it out to see what you're going to do and how much more money you're going to need to make it bigger and better and send all of these thousands of balloons up into the air. Yes, Dana and Wendy, send all of these balloons up into the air to block the sun rays. And see, here's the twitch. The twitch is they're trying to make it seem as if that they're trying to prevent global warming. Global warming doesn't have a dang on thing to do with the sun. Global warming has to do with the pollution and not people not recycling, and more trash is being created and just sitting in certain areas and causing global warming, along with so many other things, the radiation and all this technology. It's so many other things that have nothing to do with the sun. The sun is the sun is the sun, and it's been the sun before we became who we are and before we were even here. So for you to take yourself and think that you can send so many balloons to block the sun rays from the earth, literally, I'm going to leave it below because I want y'all to read what he says and what she's explaining about why he's trying to do this. And you know, basically saying that a lot of Caucasian and fair-skinned people without melanin are dying from the sun, and that they're dying at new record numbers and all this other stuff because of the rays of the sun. Now, I don't really go that deep on this channel. Some of you may want to, but just y'all know what this middle of my forehead means. That's all I'm gonna say, and you'll understand. Because sometimes you just can't do certain things because some people are not ready. But long story short, so that was something I just want you guys to look into. Had no clue, didn't even know nothing about it until my brother sent me that. And I was like, wow, where was I? What rock was I underneath when he sent that to me? So anyways, going on to the next topic. The next topic is What was I gonna say? They claim I did say that Bill climate change. Okay, I said that. I try to make notes because sometimes I be moving. Okay, thank you, ladies. I did get your emails for all of you who are already booked for the cruise. Y'all, we're gonna have a ball. We are going to have a ball. You guys are in for a treat. Some awesome women, some awesome speakers are gonna be there. We're gonna be doing some great things. So for those who are already booked and those who are going to book, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I did email some of you who requested the information again. So you might want to check your emails and check your inboxes, whatever email you gave me, because I did resend that out again. So it's not too late, ladies. If you still want to be a part of the cruise is one price. Now, they have different offers where sometimes you don't have to pay as much of a deposit. It could be $50 today, it could be $75 tomorrow, it could be $99 the next day with other perks and stuff included, but the actual price of the cruise wouldn't change. So even if you had to pay 50 this time and it dropped your cruise down to 363, and then now you missed that $50 deal. The deal now might be $99. That means that now your cruise is going to be less that you owe on your balance. That's all. The actual cruise amount will not change. It is what it is. It's just that you may come in on a good deal or a deal that may cost a little more depending on when you are ready to book and what type of special that they have at that time. So let's get on with the next thing. Okay, so let's talk about the fact that you hear a lot of people say, well, I'm not on social media to just tell all my business, or I'm not on social media to share certain things. I wanted to really, really talk about that because it's a difference between sharing too much and educating people. Now, I don't want to just share for the purpose of sharing for no reason. You know what I mean? When it comes to my personal. But what I do know is that I would not have went through certain things, or I would not have experienced certain things. Is this light? If I cut this off, is that fine? Or I would not have experienced certain things in my life if someone would have warned me of how the outcome could have been for me if I decided to go down that road in my life. Now, that is why I say, you hear me say this a lot. A lot of people are meant to be a testimony for other people. A lot of people are meant to be that person to go through things so that way you cannot have to go through it. And a lot of times people don't get it. Why? Because they don't understand that, in their brain, they're like, oh, I wouldn't share that. Oh, I wouldn't share that. Well, see, you not sharing certain things is according to your securities, according to what you've been through in your life, and according to what makes you feel a certain way if certain people feel or think a certain way about you. That's why certain people don't share certain things. And everybody has to have a certain time of comfortability where they can share certain things and be genuine if they will. And that's how I am. Now, I don't like to just share anything unless I know it can be beneficial to someone, or it can be a blessing to someone's life, or it can be a stop sign for them to know, oh, you know what, such and such said that she did that, and this is what happened when she did blah blah blah. So when you hear people say, oh, people just share too much on YouTube, people just do this, and I'm saying this because I seen a lady, and she was sharing something that happened to her in her life. And I was in the how you read comments, you just do. I was reading it. Hey, TP, you read the comments to try to get an understanding of what the feeling is and what people are getting from this person and what people are taking from it. Are people taking it the wrong way? Are majority of people taking it the wrong way? Are majority of people understanding? Or majority of people learning something? Whatever the case may be. So it bothered me because this one lady was like, just people just share too much. Just, you don't need to tell everybody your business. Well, if that person feels that it is important to share whatever it is that they're sharing, let them live their life. Let them do so. You have no clue what God's plan is. You have no clue who was supposed to come into their life for such a time as that, or for that certain season, to get that information from them. So it is a difference between sharing too much and educating people. So I wish people will understand that everybody's not built to share. It's a lot of things in your relationship with your spouse, your husband, your children, your mom, your siblings, and I can just keep going on and on, that a lot of people won't share. And I don't share everything. I share what I feel is needed to share. You get what I'm saying? That's going to be a blessing to someone. That is going to help someone. And as a matter of fact, I will say, through my obedience, I have gotten emails, and I always get emails in response to my obedience. So I know that I'm doing what I was supposed to do, because I get a response like, hey, that was for me, or hey, that meant something to me when you said this, or hey, I was dealing with this, and then when you said this, it confirmed this, those different things. So those are the things that I definitely am going to continue to be obedient to. And if you have someone around you, if you have if you have someone around you, or if you are dealing with something in your life, and it's for you to do what you need to do to be obedient, do it, because you don't know whose life is at stake, or you don't know how it can affect that person if you don't be obedient to what God is telling you to do. So that was just something else I want to talk about. But tonight's topic is this. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I have been there and I have done this, okay? When you are dating, as a man or a woman, and if you have been there and done that as well, I want you guys to talk back to me. If you are you dating and looking for a spouse, or whatever the case may be, a companion for yourself, or are you looking for a companion for yourself and your children? Or are you looking for hello, Terry, how are you? Did I say hi, TP? Hey, TP. Um, are you looking for a companion for yourself? Are you looking for a companion for yourself and your children? Or are you looking for the perfect person for your children to come in your life? You get what I'm saying? So that's three different things. Some people look for just they self. They could care less how their kids feel about it, because in their mindset, they're like, oh, they're going to be grown and they're going to be out one day, and I don't want it all to be determined on what they feel. Okay. And then the other is for your children, meaning you really didn't take the time to see too much of how you guys mesh together. It was more so of how did they interact with your children? Did they love children? Were they welcome into your children, or whatever the case may be? And that was a go for you. And then the third one. Was it a go for you because of the way they treated you and the way they treated your children? Or do you not even think about that? If you feel chemistry with the person, you kind of go with the flow and see if it'll work out with your children. That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know that. Can some of you ladies talk back to me as far as when you were dating, if you were dating, or if you are dating now, how is it for you to choose a guy that you may decide to continue dating, or go to the next level with? What is it about that person that makes you say, you know what? I can date this person. I'm really feeling this person. This person is really what you call it. This person is really somebody that I can bring around my children, and somebody that I know that will be a great, will be a great father to my children. The reason I'm asking that is because I don't know if I shared, but my husband and I was talking about this the other day with my daughter, about women basically being in control, meaning it is for a real man, nothing really would take place, or nothing would actually happen with a woman, a real woman who respects themselves, has morals, and all of the above, without her wanting it to happen. It's like we totally have control when it comes to a real man. Why? Because a king, or a real man, you whatever you want to call it, hello, Carolyn Collins, they are going to make sure, hello, Keisha, they are going to make sure that that woman that they're interested in, or that queen, or whoever they have their eyes set on, is happy in all aspects of their life. Hello, chocolate kisses. So therefore, nothing is going to happen if she's not ready, or if she doesn't want it. Only time that you are pressured to do something or that you have to do something, and sometimes, and as a woman, I can admit, you be in them spots where you just don't want to be lonely and you have the situation and you're like, I don't want to be by myself. And sometimes you feel like you get this thing in the back of your head like, oh, you can't be too picky, or oh, you can't have everything perfect. And so you let your guard down in certain situations, and therefore it doesn't work out. And then you look back like, wow, I went through that and I really didn't have to, because at the end of the day, if this man, if this guy, or I'll say male, because I think males take advantage of women, not real men and not kings. They don't do that. So if this guy was serious, he would stand behind all the decisions that you make that are positive, meaning that you don't jump up and just make decisions according to your emotions at that moment because it's just a temporary thing. He knows, you know what? Wow. And I'm going to give you a prime example. I went through two serious situations before I met my husband. I'm talking two crucial relationships back to freaking back. I, after the second one, it's crazy, but sometimes it happens, realized my worth. And so when I realized my worth, now my stance on what I will and won't accept was totally different than it was the first two times. The first two times was based on the experiences of a child and what I seen being done with other women in my life and in my family. So that's what I thought was supposed to be done. But after, remember when I told you a lot of times your decisions are made based on experiences? After experiencing those detrimental, crucial relationships and knowing that it didn't sit well with me and I didn't feel good being in those situations, I literally had a whole 180 mindset of no. What I think I want is not what I need. Apparently, what I think I should have as far as a companion is not what God wants for me. And so I need to focus on me and focus on what I need and focus on how can I love myself enough to not feel like my love is incomplete for myself because someone else is not loving me while I'm loving myself or trying to love myself. But no, when you love yourself to a certain point, you will have standards of who you will accept in your life, who you will accept around your children. Because see, not only am I accepting them around my children, but see, now I have to create an example that my children don't live by like I did and become a product of what I was raised in. So now my mindset is different. I don't want them to see the same thing because I apparently thought it was okay because that's what I was raised in. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, I was attached to the same thing because that was comfortable. That was normalcy to me to see, a woman being beat up and treated like crap and talked to like crap. You get what I'm saying? And so at that one, I see you guys, I'm going to read that in just a second. At that 180 switch, I hate when people say 360 because you know what that is. 360 is this, going all the way around and coming right back. So just for those who never paid attention to that, doing the 180. So doing the 180 and leaving one realm and coming to another realm of thinking, it was more so of, it's not just about me. I was a single mom. It's not just about me. Do you realize, CPR, you actually just did the same thing that you realize hurt you as a child, that you realize wasn't good for you as a child. So how could you allow yourself to make a decision on the next person that you allow in your life without implementing your children? And implementing how will this person be for your children? How would this person treat your children? How would this person interact with your children? How does this person feel about your children? All of the above. Let me read some of this and I'm gonna go back. Okay. I'm looking for a companion and he loves my son who's grown, but my boyfriend been married twice and he's afraid to marry again. Okay. So you said you're looking for a companion. And he does love your son, who's grown, but he's been married before, married twice before, and is afraid of marrying again. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. And I was talking to a young lady about this before. Marriage is actually a vow that you commit, that you guys are both serious about a relationship. A relationship is not created by marriage. Do you feel what I'm saying? A relationship is something that two people enter into. A marriage is the next step, saying that we're going to stay in this relationship forever. If you both are committed and respectful, and you are okay with the fact that he is afraid right now, just keep loving on him and showing him the best woman that you could possibly be. And I promise you, either it's going to change, or he would explain more of why he's afraid. And maybe you guys both can change that. Or you guys will just live and do as you please. Meaning, I just don't feel like, I hear a lot, and I've heard this growing up, that when a person is in a long relationship and then they decide to get married, it seems like it goes south. As soon as you get married, everything was fine, then it goes south. I say do what's best for you. I say do what's best for you, because at the end of the day, you have to lay down with the decisions you make, because you don't want to pressure somebody to do something they're not ready to do. And if he is afraid, is that the actual word that he used? If he is afraid, Dana, I wouldn't pressure him, but have more of a conversation about it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times the fear comes from an experience of somebody that put them through something that they don't want to go through again. But if they can release the fact that you're not that person anymore, I mean, you are not that person that they were with. You are someone different. That's what I meant to say. Then that's where it becomes more comfortable, to the point where maybe he can move on to the next level with you. He has to forgive his past. He has to forgive his past, and he has to be comfortable with the fact that you are new. You are new to him. God blessed him with someone new that won't do him or put him through what he's been through before. And that's another reason why therapy is good and counseling is good. I am not a specialist. I can only talk about what I've been through, but that is one reason, because then you can open up. Because a lot of times when men have fear, it's not as deep as we see it to be, as a hurdle. It's more so of, he just want to know and confirm that you are just that woman, that he's not making the same mistake twice. Actually, three times a charm. How about that? That's what he need to know. I'm always slow to be bringing anyone around my children. If they have kids, I like to see what type of father they are to them, to their own children. Guess what? And that's what I was going to say. My husband didn't have an example of that for me. He didn't have any children, which was great for me. I didn't have to deal with no baby mamas. You know what I mean? So when I met him, it's so crazy. I think we talked about this in I did release that video about our life and our relationship and stuff like that. So you guys can go back and watch that. It's the one with me and him together, and we have a live. When I met him, it took over 3 months, and we were dating like every weekend. We were seeing each other. It took over 3 months for him to physically even see one of my children. I did not play that. I did not play that. And he said, out of all the things, excuse me, it was over 3 months. No, it was over 3 months that we had actually had sex. This man was paying my bills. He was doing everything that a husband should do, and he was not my husband. I had got into a bad accident, which is the accident I tell you about. My back still locks up to this day. And you know what's so funny? One of my my sister, I call her a sister, she's a life coach. She got a new book that just came out. We were talking because she just got in a head-on collision, and I was talking to her about my back. I said I never really talk about my back much, but years ago I did a video about my back and how you know, if you ever get into an accident, don't be rushing to get the money, because the pain that I go through, if you could see it on camera, you wouldn't even know that I go through that type of pain. It's crazy. It's when I say crazy, when I yell and scream and there's nothing I can do, my family literally stops what they're doing to come help me because of that. But anyways, back on that. So I got into the accident, and I didn't have to ask him for nothing. I see y'all talking. I'm gonna, y'all know your girl. I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna get to y'all comments. And he was sending me money, and it was actually before Christmas. And when he sent me this lump sum of money through Western Union, he said, pay your car note, pay all your bills, and here's money for the kids' Christmas. I was like, Excuse me. I'm not used to that. I was, well, the relationship before him, I was kind of taking care of that person, and all my hard-earned money was going into him. And to this day, he still has that business, and it is flourishing, and he is doing awesome. And you know what's so funny? He just told me a couple years ago. He said, if it wasn't for you, you was the only one that believed in me, and to this day his business is huge. Like, he has people working for him. I took my tax money and put into him. And then the one before that, it was a drug dealer. Like, my kid's father was he was a drug dealer, and all I knew was the fast money and all that type of stuff. And that's what it was all about. So everything was different for me. So it was like I went from getting anything I needed. I didn't have to ask for nothing. It was money, fast money. You know how that money goes. And then the next one was, okay, I'm working, I'm paying my own bills, got my own house. I let this man come in, come live with me, blah blah blah, and I'm taking care of him. And I just was overwhelmed, and it was just like I went from one situation to the next. And those are the situations that I've been before my husband, but those was just, I'm just giving you brief synopsis of them. Those were some crazy situations. That's why I said your girl could be doing life in prison for some crazy crap because of the way I was done. So anywho, so when I met him, and we were long distance, because I was in one city and he lived here, so we were long distance, back and forth in it, visiting each other. And he said, out of all the things, that was one thing that really stood out, because he's dated other women that didn't mind just having them come over all around the kids. I don't give a dang if I have a son or a daughter. A boy shouldn't see in and out, in and out, in and out neither. Why? Because then a boy think that is what he's supposed to be doing, in and out of women's houses. You get what I'm saying? Dating this woman got kids, oh, then I'm bouncing over there. You get what I'm saying? People always think, oh, as a woman, you shouldn't allow your girls to see that. No, you shouldn't allow your sons neither. Because if the sons see that it's okay with you, that you're doing it, they would think that that's how they're supposed to be when they meet women. Women should just allow them in their house around their kids, whether it's serious or not. You get what I'm saying? And you should have more morals for yourself as a man to even want to be with a woman who freely allows you around her children and don't even know you their self. So that was something that I did not play. I did not play. And that made him feel some type of way about me. And long story short, he stepped in as a man. A real man, you don't have to ask them to do nothing. You do not have to ask them to do nothing. They're going to do it because they know it's something that needs to be done. So that's one thing. When you know better, you do better. Exactly. But what about when you don't? That leads back to what I was saying about, it's not sharing too much. Sometimes you have to educate, because all women don't go through the same thing. All women weren't raised the same way. All women don't experience certain things the way some women do. When you have a woman that's totally secure within themselves because they got all the love, the nurture, and everything they can get from parents, versus a woman who didn't, they're going to see things totally different. They're going to receive things totally different too from men. And they're going to carry themselves totally different, which all creates the experiences that they go through. So that's why you can't label anyone the same. We may be the same age, the same color, went to the same school, grew up in the same neighborhood, both have two parents, all of the above, but then it's the technicalities. My dad drank. My mom was hardly home. Your mom was always home. Your mom got beat. You feel what I'm saying? Let's just realize that it's not about, oh, we all have the same opportunity. Yeah, we do, and then we don't, because those little technicalities is what switch up the brain and the mindset of a person to move further according to their securities, their inabilities, and all those different things that comes with being raised in a certain environment. Okay, so you have to vibe with me and my son. You also have to have a good relationship with your children if you have them. Exactly. You know what? For the life of me, I can't understand, and I'll share this, but I'm not going to share any names or whatever, but some people who closely know me, I had a cousin that was so close. Like, it was a cousin that literally the next level of relationship would be a sibling. That's how close of a cousin they were. So you know what level of cousin it was. Who actually dated my first love / kid's father after me. And to this day, I get family members who say, how could you forgive her? How is it in you to forgive her? How is it that you I don't get it. But you know what? The only thing out of that situation that hurt me more than anything was you knew he was a deadbeat. He couldn't have me, so he didn't care about his kids. So you knew he was a deadbeat, and you, as my blood, close blood, actually physically had a relationship after knowing the abuse and how this man tried to kill me and everything that he did when she was in a certain time of her life. We would literally talk, and I shared everything with her. I'm not talking intimate stuff. I'm talking about everything that I didn't share with my mother, my grandmother, my grandparents. They had no clue I was being abused the way I was. But she did. I said, what is it about this situation that makes you want to even be a part of it, to have a relationship behind? That is a total violation. Behind me, and you're my blood.